What is going on, everybody? I want to give you just some mental food for thought, motivation, and bring up some really interesting things about Den of Imagination. If you're not familiar with Den of Imagination, they might be the biggest studio as far as miniature painting goes. They are cranking out high quality miniatures, and there might be some bigger, I don't know, that sell painted stuff on eBay, but this studio, as far as quality, is much higher than most commission painting videos and things you'll see on YouTube. And it's super odd, I guess. They have an awesome looking facility, but when you, like, I'm not sure any of them play, maybe a couple of them play, but like when they do the studio updates, go to their channel right after this video, after you subscribe to me, go subscribe to them. They put up these studio walkthrough videos, and you'll get an idea what I'm saying here. It's like a couple guys in a room on like a handheld cam, then they leave, and then they go into a room, and then there's just like an army of Polish women painting high quality miniatures, like 12 of them. And then they all say hi, and he walks around and he, shows you what they're working on, and they're like, oh, here's my free hand of, the Sistine Chapel ceiling, every panel on this shoulder pad or whatever. And then he's like, oh, what are you painting? And they're like, oh, Space Wolf or whatever, like, because I don't think any of the painters play. And then they go into another room, and then there's another army of Polish women. I assume they're all Polish because I think Den of Imagination is in Poland. If not, then I'm stereotyping, but they are all in there painting again. They have multiple rooms filled with ladies painting miniatures. And then they have another room where there's some guys building miniatures. And then they are doing like conversions and magnetization, and there's all these tables. And it's I don't understand it. Like, how, first of all, they're high quality painters, produce high quality models. They're not gonna probably win like the Golden Demons or Crystal Brushes or things like that, but they are very, very high quality, and they're top level. You get real cool free hands and stuff. But I don't understand how they keep their like top level painters, because obviously they have to pay them pretty well, or why wouldn't they just take what they can already do on their own and do it for themselves? Unless, because that studio's so big, it's a constant, steady like amount of work, maybe. So if they're afraid to take the leap on themselves, or maybe they all do like side projects at home, but I'm pretty sure they get, actually I have no idea. I'm guessing they get paid hourly, and they show up, they clock in, they sit down, and they crank out miniatures, and then they go home, I guess. This is just a guess, right? I've never been there. I would love to go check it out. It looks really cool. But why wouldn't, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you know or if you've dealt with them, wouldn't the top level painter or painters, wouldn't they make more money by just painting miniatures and selling them, say, on eBay or through their own YouTube or through their own Instagram? And I don't understand how the company can afford to pay them unless they get paid a percentage of the projects that they finish only and not hourly, or because they don't really seem like they play, maybe they're just not told what those things are even selling for. They have no interest in what they're selling for. I'm not sure. It's super interesting. They're pretty good videos, like, for inspiration, great videos for inspiration, and they're pretty fun to watch them do the walkthroughs and just see what's going on over there. And it seems, I don't know, it reminds me of like on Wednesday nights we meet up at the local game store and do like painting night, and there'll be about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sometimes there's been like 10 of us painting, and I just think it's crazy that if all 10 of us were working on one person's army, how much could we all possibly get? And I'm pretty sure in their studio setup, they're not all working on the same army. Sometimes there's a couple of them though doing the same project, or like, you know, maybe one's doing the shoulder pads while the other one's doing the guns or whatever. But for the most part, they all seem like they're working on their own individual projects, which makes me think maybe they are working on commission. Now, here's a big motivation for you. These ladies are not interested in Warhammer. They don't play, and this is just a broad generalization guess, right? Opinion, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Their painters do not seem like they have a love for the hobby as far as playing the game. Like they don't seem to overly interested in what units are. What, you know, I've never heard them say, you know, oh, they got 24-inch rapid fire bolters or whatever, right? So they are finding, I guess they're putting out ads, maybe at local art schools or something, or artists magazines or something, or maybe they're well known enough now that they can attract quality painters. But then they're teaching them, I assume, how to paint like airbrush and transitions and blending. And now I assume they're coming from art schools or something because they're very good. But then there's definitely a level that there's some kind of process where they're trained, I'm sure, for work. And if you want to see some motivation, like if they went from like canvas painting to painting those miniatures in probably a relatively short amount of time, I don't know how much time, and I don't know how much time a week they spend painting, but that should give you a lot of motivation that you could definitely improve, because they are very good, and I don't think they're as interested as probably you would be in your project. So they're doing it like a job. You're doing it like for passion. So you should be able to like double it. And that goes for me too. Like when I see that stuff, I'm just like, ugh. I'm super motivated and inspired, but I kind of want to go work for them for like 6 months and learn whatever their like base level learning techniques are. Now, a little side bonus, I see now Adepticon and LVO are right around the corner, and Adepticon registration just went live. I basically lost about everything I wanted to sign up for because I didn't realize that just having it in my cart didn't lock me in. So as I put things into my cart, I would go and browse for more classes, and then, you know, oh, maybe I'll play the Necromunda game or maybe the 40K event. And then by the end of it, even my badge upgrade was gone. They were sold out on that. All the classes I signed up for besides like one was completely full. So they just disappeared from my cart. And that was my bad. So I am in the drawing for the VIG bag, but I even lost my swag bag because I was, I guess, not prepared enough to already just run through and pick my classes real fast and hit checkout. I'm not sure. But anyway, if you're going to LVO or Adepticon, definitely consider taking one of these classes. Now, I've seen people on Facebook complain about the price of some of these classes, which I find, I wouldn't complain about the price. That doesn't seem like the right thing to complain about. You should complain about your situation of not having the extra money to maybe pay that for the class. And that's not like a slight at you or somebody, but some of these teachers are literally some of the best as far as we know, like in miniature painting. I don't know how else you could really judge it by other than like Golden Demons, Instagram profiles, crystal brushes, awards at, you know, big model shows. And certainly some of the best in the Warhammer and wargaming hobby. There's probably like some real legendary like historical painters that I don't know about, like historical bust painters and stuff. But for like the high fantasy, sci-fi, imagination, painting, you know, basically painting from imagination, not trying to duplicate history or what, however you want to say it. It's literally some of the best, like you would say maybe the top 1%. And if they're only charging you like $100 for a 3-hour class, like what do you think Tiger Woods or Kobe Bryant or Floyd Mayweather or LeBron James or Brett Favre or whatever, right? Eli Manning, Peyton Manning. What do you think they charge for a 3-hour private lesson? If they probably, first of all, would never do it because they could have to charge you so much to make it even worthwhile for them. Or they do it for only specific people who have a ton of money. So you're paying like $100. So picture you're paying $100 for Tiger Woods to help you putt or drive, golf ball, whatever. That's pretty insane. And then if you think about it like that, there's a lot of value in that. So I would highly, highly, highly consider, if you go to one of these conventions, to sign up for a painting class. Now, some of them are like $25, $30. Even just that, listening to somebody talk about their hobby, showing you things in person, helping you hands-on or demonstration, it just can click in your brain like a switch that will either inspire you, make you better, make you see things or think about things in a different way while painting different approaches. And that happened to me last year at Adepticon. I was going to bring some stuff to try to enter in the crystal brush. I knew I wasn't putting in the effort and I didn't bring anything. But I did take some painting classes, and afterwards I've been like, it's almost been a year now and I've still been charged up to try to, get better and try to really push some models. Now, some of my army painting, if you know from my last video, not that important, like as far as pushing every single model, but you still want to try and push your characters or things like that. So if you learn one thing about Den of Imagination, first of all, if you can get an army of talented painters, apparently you can run a successful business. And also, apparently you can learn to paint miniatures good. So go check them out. Sign up for a painting class at one of these conventions. If you're going to LVO, or if you're going to Adepticon, I will be going to both this next year. So hopefully this paintbrush Kickstarter thing I'm going to be running is successful, or I will be broke. Please subscribe.